Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this, I believe there's a Samsung, oh, they covered it with stickers. Anyways, this is a Samsung NP355V5C, or 355V, or NP355V5C-A01US. Alright, so, this laptop, the hinge on one side was broken, and then this charge port broke because of that, and I actually already fixed it, but I'm going to show you how to open this up. So here's the little logo there. So yeah, it's Samsung. Alright, we're going to flip this over. First things first, we're going to disconnect or remove the battery, slide these two tabs out, and then they'll stay in place. You can just push the battery out. If you need a new battery, let's see, battery model information. I guess they go by the product ID here, which is that AAPB9NC6B, I think, because I don't really see any other model numbers here, or they're 1588-3366. I don't think that's the model number, but there's that. Okay, if not, just look up the 355V battery, I guess, and make sure it looks similar. Okay, next thing, we're going to open up this little door. The wireless card is under here, but there's also some stuff we need to remove to get this whole thing apart, so we're going to pop that out. Okay, we're going to remove this one screw here. If you're just upgrading this, then you only need to remove this one screw. And also the battery. Okay, but anyways, we'll slide this cover down once we've done that. So I don't know if you saw, I just pulled down on this using the edge of that. Okay, we'll set that aside. Okay, so the hard drive is right here. There's this little tab. You can actually grab that, and then you can pull the hard drive back. Then after you pull it down, you can slide it or pull it up. It is a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. I highly recommend, if you haven't already, to upgrade this to an SSD. I have a video showing how to clone that if you need it, so that way you can upgrade directly without having to redo the operating system and all the software. You do have 4 screws there that you need to remove, and then you can transfer this stuff over as well. I think it's held also in with some adhesive. Actually, maybe not. Okay, anyways, this is all using a JAS1 screwdriver. Okay, so next thing, the 2 screw mounts on this are broken on this one, so I'm not going to take these screws out because I don't actually have to remove them to do what I'm doing. But normally, if you're following along, remove these 2 screws as well. Hopefully your hinges aren't broken, and then you should be okay. So remove those 2 screws. I'm going to remove all the other ones. So, again, I'm going to leave those 2 in because the plastic that holds the little screw mounts in place are broken. Okay, so we got that. Keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that, I put them flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So basically you have the 4 in a row up there. Okay, we are going to remove the wireless card, so let me actually zoom in here and show you how that's done. You have the antennas, and what you do is you go from the tail. I go and kind of just pinch the wire, and then I kind of just wiggle and pull it up. Okay, just like this, and it kind of just flips out like that. So same thing here, the black wire is to the auxiliary and the white wire is to the main, so keep that in mind. All right, again from the tail, pull straight up, and there we go. All right, so we got that, those wireless antennas disconnected. There's one screw, take that out. Okay, it pops up slightly at an angle, and then you can go ahead and wiggle that out. All right, we'll set that aside as well. Okay, let me move that over. Guess I'll put it over here. Okay, we also have to disconnect this keyboard cable here, so flip that latch up. Once you've done that, it helps to have like a little small tool to kind of get in there and pull that back. Okay, so pull that like that. Or you can even just get a piece of tape on top here. Actually, let me show you that way. So you can get a piece of tape and you can just stick it to the back and pull it out that way. That's probably the easiest way to do it. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back out. Now that we got that out, let's see. We got this one screw holding the optical disk drive. Oh, let's actually also remove this screw right here as well. So that one right there. Actually, I should probably stay zoomed in a little bit so it's easier for you guys to see. We're going to remove this screw as well. Okay. Then we got this screw right here. Remove that one. Okay, once you remove that screw, you can actually remove the CD drive. If all you wanted to do was remove the optical disk drive or CD drive, you just need to remove that one screw after removing that bottom cover. Okay, and then I slide my fingernail up and down like this as I'm pulling, and there you go. Comes out pretty easily. All right. Also, the optical disk drive, this does look to be the thicker one. I think it's like a 12.7 or 12.5 millimeter, something like that thickness. You can replace this with the hard drive caddy slot. So if you want to have an extra hard drive instead of a CD drive, you can replace that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove all the screws from this bottom row and just keep them all together. Even though it kind of goes up and down, I'm just going to put them all in like one line there because it's a little easier to keep track of that way. Okay, there are a lot of screws. Okay, this model is quite a pain to completely take apart, so keep that in mind. If you're watching, probably watch the whole video before attempting. Right? If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright? Links and ways to do that are in the description below. Okay, so we got all those screws out. I forgot I should just show you the RAM right now. You got these two tabs. Let me actually zoom in a bit if I can. Okay, and so you have these two tabs. You just pull them to the side, the RAM pops up, then you can go ahead and pull it back. And here you can see the RAM is 4 gigs. PC3L12800S. Okay, so if you need more RAM, make sure it's PC3L12800S. You can put 28 gigs 6 if you want. If you can find 16 gigs, you should be able to put that as well. Okay, anyways, we got all those screws out. Again, I left these two screws here because mine is broken, but normally you would remove those as well. So if you're gonna take the whole thing apart, remove those screws as well. We're gonna flip this over. Gonna slowly, carefully open this up. Okay, then we got to remove the keyboard. So if you need to replace your keyboard, here's how you do it. Remove all those screws. Then you can go back here. Let's see, open the screen all the way. We're going to pull from back here and pull up. And you can see we can pop the clips out. Okay, all right. On this one, the mechanism here was kind of bad and it just broke. But if you can, get under here and pop the clips here, okay? So, I don't know if you can see where I'm popping it out, but get under there, pop those clips, go on this side, do the same thing. Oh, I cut my fingernails there, so I can't. But same thing, pop those clips, there you go. You can see it popped out. And you can actually see the clips that are right here also are popped out. You can see like we can pull that back. Okay, so we're gonna open this back up again, carefully, slowly. Okay, and let's see now if we can continue working our way down. Oh, the corner ones here are still popped in, so we gotta pull a bit harder. Come on. Huh, why is the corner on this one not popped out all the way, but the other one is? Let's see if closing this, if we can kind of get better access there. So you can see here, it's not popped out, so close it a bit more, and I'm just getting my fingernails in there. You can use like pry tools if you want. Try that. Yeah, I don't know why this clip doesn't want to come out. Interesting. All right, let's just work our way down the sides and then hopefully it should eventually pop up. So we're gonna remove this whole darker area section, okay? So you can see we can lift up this side and this is kind of popping up. So I just slid my fingernail in between the gap here and then continued pulling and you can see it popped up, okay? We're going to go on this side as well. Let's see, this one, the clip is stuck here, so I don't know, but I'll hold up on this side that I already popped up, slide my fingernail down there, and you can see we can pop that up, okay? So I don't know why that one's stuck, but now that we got both, you can see I flexed it this way, so it pulled that clip back. All right, we're going to carefully lift this up, and then we can slide this out this way. And there you go. That's what the bottom of the keyboard looks like. It is melted onto this plastic frame, So if you're replacing the keyboard, I highly recommend getting one with the entire plastic frame, because it's going to be tough to replace just the keyboard by itself. We'll set that aside. Okay, so underneath here, we do have a couple things we need to remove. We need to disconnect this cable. Okay, so actually let me zoom in again. The way I do that, I use my fingernails at the wings and kind of just wiggle as I pull, and there you go. We got this connector here. We're going to grab that and then pull that. I don't remember if this needed to be disconnected, but actually, yeah, it does. Okay, and then we got the touchpad trackpad connector. This one has a flip latch. Flip that up. Then you can get underneath this purple plastic tabby thing. Okay, I mean, it's a little bit tough, but you can get underneath the purple part, and then you can use that to pull it back. All right, now it's disconnected. We're gonna now go ahead and remove all the screws underneath here. So here's that, you can see that brass piece there. This is the part that broke off from underneath the keyboard. So normally that's mounted in there, and then there's another one mounted in there. But again, those broke off, so that's why I didn't take those screws from the bottom out. So that one and that one there, okay? We're gonna zoom out again, and let's go ahead and remove all the screws that are holding this piece in place. Okay, I'm not gonna be popping out the whole screen and everything, but we're gonna take out this plate so you can see what's underneath. All right, the charge port did end up getting damaged, so I'll show you what I did to repair it. Okay, I was luckily able to reuse the charge port without having to replace it. Okay, and I also epoxied the broken hinge in place with JB Weld, so hopefully it will hold up really well. Okay, I'm losing track of what I'm recording. We got this side, this one as well. Okay, it's a lot of screws. All right, again, hopefully you guys are able to keep track of all of them, put them in the pattern you remove them. Okay, that one, and sorry, I put the screws in a place where it's kind of blocked by the computer as I'm unscrewing them. Okay, got those. What else do we got? Let me actually zoom out a bit more. Okay, then we got these ones down here. You can actually see how I'm lining up the screws there. This one here. Okay, now that we got all those screws out, we gotta lift this piece up. You can see I can kind of get in here and pull that up. We gotta work this side out as well, and oh shoot, okay, actually this brass piece is being held down by this screw, so I'm gonna have to take that out. So what I'm gonna do, because mine's broken, I have to use pliers to hold on to that, and then I can unscrew it. So I'm gonna start unscrewing it over here real quick. Okay, and the brass piece is kind of, well, I guess I can even just hold it with my hand. Okay, and we'll remove that screw with the brass piece. Okay, so now that we got all the screws that are holding it out, holding it down in place, we can go ahead and continue lifting this out. So this does have like some clips that kind of get caught there, so you kind of have to pop those clips out. But you can see we can pop this up, wiggle it, and there we go. Oh, the screen's heavy, so it's kind of pulling this up. Okay, so there we go. That's what the bottom of this looks like. Okay, and let me show you inside. So you have the, oops, I should probably like zoom in and kind of lift this up and show you. But you have the optical disk drive connector here, removable. This connector, you just pull it out. It's a little bit difficult to slide these back in. You also have the one here for the headphone or microphone and headphone jacks. Alright, what else? You have this little connector here, which I'm not sure, it looks like it's going into the screen somewhere. So, does it say? Mic. Okay, so this is the microphone. Wireless antennas are going under here over to this. You can see there's more screws holding the hinge into place, and then this one I left there so it gets a stronger grip. You can see here, this is all the JB Weld we put, and I covered it with this plastic so when I put it back it didn't stick anything onto it, so I can peel this out now. There you can see the DC jack charge port. Okay, so this is the charge port, and they actually plug it in underneath the motherboard, so you will have to take the motherboard out completely to be able to replace the charge port if that's actually completely broken and needs to be replaced. Okay, I'm not going to take that out. Actually, is it? Okay, actually it curves around and then it plugs into these 4 things here. And I don't know if you can pull that connector out. I don't want to mess around with it and break it. But here you can see the red wires. Basically, when they broke it, the hinge came out and ripped out the red wires there. And I just soldered them back. So I covered it with some electrical tape. All right, and this piece just slides up like that. So you can put it back down. You can see I put JB Weld all over underneath. So now this hinge is like secured super strong in place, and it's also best to get the JB Weld close to where the hinge like moves, like right here. Okay, then the fan there, you got a fan connector here. I should actually clean it, it's a bit dusty. You got the LCD LVDS connector here. If you do want to remove the screen, you can take the screws out for the hinges on there and the other side, and then after that you can lift it out. If you're messing with this cable, it's best to hold the power button for 10 to 15 or at least 15 seconds after disconnecting the battery. You do have the BIOS battery here soldered to the motherboard there underneath this piece, and you can see they mark the positive here and the negatives on that side. All right, not really much else to show in here, so we're just going to put this back together. Okay, and yeah. Okay, so we'll get this guy in, and then let me tilt the screen up more so it doesn't fall over. Okay, so you can see how we got that. Let me actually zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so oh, I forgot, let me brush the fan and clean it a little bit because it is pretty dusty there. Okay, so I like to hold the fan a little bit and then brush it like this. And I should probably take this one outside to completely blow the dust out because there's quite a bit of dust. Or actually, this one I'll probably use the vacuum on it. So, but there's quite a bit of dust in here, so you can kind of, while you have it open, just brush it all out. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to get the vacuum to suck the dust out of that, and then use my air blower to blow the smaller loose dust around. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back. I vacuumed it out, blew it out a little bit, so you can see the fan's a lot cleaner now. And now we're just going to put this thing back together. So, also this DC jack has a little thing that's screwed in here, so this wire going to there, so be careful with that. Make sure you take that screw out if you're replacing the charge port. Okay, oops, sorry about that. We're gonna drop this in. Give me a second, I need to mute my phone so it doesn't keep making beeping sounds. Alright, so we got this. We're just going to push all of this back down into place. Clip everything back in. Make sure to kind of squeeze it all. Let me zoom out a little bit more. Okay, squeeze around all the edges. Make sure it clips all back into place. Alright. Okay. And then let's go ahead and get the screws back in. So first thing, I'm going to get that one screw that we were leaving in earlier because it was messed up. Okay, so I'll get that screw in. And I gotta hold it from this side. It's a little tricky because normally it's not broken like this. Okay. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Tighten it in all the way. Alright. Flip this back over. Removed a bunch of like broken plastic bits that fell out. Okay, and then we'll get all these screws back in. It's a lot of screws. So yeah. Again, actually all these screws inside look to be about the same. So if you mixed up the ones in here, you're probably okay. But the other ones look to be different. So the top screws are the same as each other, and then I think the bottom screws tend to be the same as the others, except for the one under the hard drive and the one that holds the optical disk drive. Okay. But again, I always like to put the same screw back where I got it, just to be safe. Alright. Let's get these in. Again, hopefully this video helps you guys out. The power button is actually mounted into this thing, so I don't know if the power button is like part of this. This is the speaker connector actually. And then I didn't pay attention. You have this cable going here, so maybe that's for the power button. And then this is probably, wait, no, that's not touchpad because it comes up with the, actually, yeah, that's I think the touchpad, trackpad cable. Okay, let's continue getting all these screws in, and then we're gonna have to get all those cables back in. Okay, of course I'm going to zoom in so you can see how that's done. Okay, we got all those screws in. Let's zoom in. Okay, so this cable, touchpad, trackpad one, is pretty simple. Basically, grab the purple tab, make sure that latches up. Okay, pull it back, get it in, and then you can see, make sure you're pushing it in, and then slide your finger over the latch to lock it down. All right, this one, again, it's a little bit difficult, but you gotta line it up, okay? And then make sure it's going in straight like that. You can actually see the black line. Then you kind of bend it up slightly, and then you use that tab to pull it in. So basically it forms an L, and then when you pull it, it pulls that thing in, okay? And also sometimes the adhesive there can rip off, so be careful with that, all right? Then you got this connector, obviously just line it up and pinch it in, okay? And there we go. All right, so we got all of that in. We're gonna now get the keyboard back into place. So we'll get that. You'll wanna kind of like flatten this a little bit if you can, okay? Or otherwise you're gonna have to go under there and make sure to pick it out, okay? So this piece, you have the little feet that kind of go into these little holes here, so you want to make sure you slide it in like that. Okay, once you've slid it in that way, you can go ahead and drop it down, and then you can go ahead and kind of like push the edges back into place, like the top ones here and the side ones down here. I like to get my hand in and kind of pinch both layers, okay, so in between the CD slot, but pinching it like that. Right, then you can look around and make sure also that looks good. Pinch all of this in. All right, there we go. We can go ahead and close this. Flip this back over. Make sure that latches in. Okay, so clip all of those. All right, then you can see the keyboard cable did get sucked back under there. So again, probably easiest way, get some tape, stick it to the edge, and then you can pull it out just like that. All right. And this one, the cable is actually relatively easy to get back in. Just tilt it the right way, and then you can kind of push on the curved part to kind of help get it in. All right, and make sure it goes in all the way and that it's straight. You can tell it's in because the wings of the connectors will go in, and then you can see the exposed kind of like creamish color behind the wings. All right, then slide your finger over again to latch that down, and there we go. All right, let's get the wireless card in first, just because it's probably easier. So it goes up at an angle, push that in. Okay, make sure the wireless antennas are out and easy to get to. Lower this down. tighten this screw in. Okay, where's the white one? Okay, there we go. All right, so we got both antenna wires here. We're gonna grab it. I'm using some little tweezers. Line it up, make sure it's good. You can tell because if you try and move it around after it's lined up right, it'll kind of stay there. Then just push it down. Okay, there we go. Same thing with the white one. Get it lined up. Okay, make sure it's on there. Oops. Maybe pliers will be easier, but there we go. Okay, line it up and then click it down. There we go. Okay, now we just got to get all these screws back in, so I'm going to zoom back out here. Okay, if you want, you can put the CD drive, optical drive in first. Okay, so basically just slide that in, just like this. Good, all right. Get that back in the center here. All right, so we got this silver screw that goes here underneath where the hard drive goes. And then we got this other silver screw that holds the optical disk drive in. All right, we can go ahead now and put back the hard drive. So these screws that stick out go into where these notches are. You just drop it in. Okay, you want to kind of drop it straight in. There we go. Line that up, and then from the back of the hard drive, push it to slide it in. There you go. Push that down so the tab isn't going up and into this connector area there. And pretty much all we do is just get the rest of the screws back in. Pretty easy. All right, so let's get that. And yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Links and ways to do that are in the description below. But yeah, other than that, you're welcome to stay as I put all the rest of the screws back in. Again, I actually already tested this and it's working now. So yeah, sorry I didn't record the actual repair part. But basically soldering those wires to where they got ripped out from, and the hinge, I used JB Weld to hold that back down. If you want to see some computers where I actually show soldering and stuff and like gluing the hinges, because a lot of times the hinges break, I actually have videos showing that. So not of this specific model, but it's essentially the same idea. Right, we got this, it goes in at an angle, then you can go ahead and pinch down the sides like that and get that screw in. Good. All right, then we got this one, line that up and then slide that. Good. And then we'll get this screw in just like that. Okay, battery, flip that over, slide that in. It auto locks, don't pull it back out because that will unlock and it will stay unlocked. We'll flip this guy back over, open this up, and if you want, I'll just plug this back in because a lot of people kind of say, why didn't I record that? So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so we'll plug this in. I already charged this all the way, so I don't think the charge light will come on. It's faintly glowing white right at this light here, but you can't really see it in the camera. And I turn this on, this light is blue, and we should get, there you go, the Samsung screen. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. Again, I highly recommend upgrading to an SSD. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Strap this. Bye.